Hey guys, welcome back to another movie review. Today I'll be reviewing Bridge of Spies, the new Steven Spielberg film starring Tom Hanks. So Bridge of Spies was highly anticipated by many people, me included, for the fact that Steven Spielberg's directing. He hasn't directed since Lincoln in 2012. It also stars Tom Hanks, one of my favourite actors, and the combination of the two is fantastic. They've done 3 films before this: Saving Private Ryan, Catch Me If You Can, and The Terminal. And so this is their 4th film. So Bridge of Spies was a very interesting and enjoyable film. I came out of the cinema with a real smile on my face because I just loved the movie. I thought it was fantastic and even better than I initially thought it was going to be. So the basic story is Tom Hanks plays this guy, James Donovan. He's an insurance salesman, like a lawyer, and he doesn't really do big time stuff. But anyway, this is set in America during the Soviet Union time when they were having falling outs with them, and there were spies spying from America on the Soviets, and then their spies were spying in the US. So a Soviet spy is captured in the US, and Tom Hanks has to be his lawyer. So the spy is played by Rylance, and he does a fantastic job. He's amazing in this. So as I said, Tom Hanks plays this guy's lawyer, and eventually a US spy is captured in Berlin, and so they're kind of working out how they can negotiate and trade these spies back. So throughout the film you get the feeling that no one likes Tom Hanks because he's sticking up for this spy who's pretty much against their country, but he really gets along well with this guy. And so pretty much no one is helping Tom Hanks along the way get this job done and the negotiation sorted. So he's kind of doing the whole thing as a one-man show, trying to get this guy swapped for another guy in Berlin. And so Tom Hanks actually has to go over to Berlin and stay there, even though it's very dangerous for any Americans to be there. He's kind of risking his own life just so he can see this guy back to where he came from, as well as retrieve one of their own spies. So by the title of the film and the trailers, you might get the idea that this is a action-packed kind of spy thriller film, whereas it's more of an actual drama film rather than kind of like a Mission Impossible spy film. And if I had seen this film 5-10 years ago, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much as I do now, because it's one of them films that there's a lot of talking scenes, there's a bit of action here and there, but there's a lot of talking scenes, and normally movies that are like that are quite boring, but when they're handled by Steven Spielberg, you're just so interested because the dialogue is so interesting in this film. It was actually written by the Coen brothers, which is another interesting thing to know. And Steven Spielberg did a fantastic job directing. Everything looked fantastic. All the performances were handled really well, so I think that's what made the film watchable, having a great screenplay and cast to go along with it. The music by Thomas Newman was good. This is one of the first films that John Williams hasn't scored for Steven Spielberg, but Thomas Newman's one of my favourite composers, so it was good to hear his score in a Steven Spielberg movie. But yeah, as I said, this isn't like kind of an action junkie film, so just be warned if you're planning on seeing this film that it's more so a talking film, but it's very good. It's probably one of the best films I've seen all year, probably one of the best Steven Spielberg movies, and one of the best Tom Hanks films as well, in my opinion. Everything looks authentic in the film. It's set in the 1950s, so I just love that era, and when Steven Spielberg deals with it in a lot of his films, it just looks fantastic, so that was wonderful to see on screen. So this movie had a lot going for it, in my opinion. Probably one of the best casts all year with the acting wise. It was just way up there, probably some of the best acting I've seen all year. I think one of the things that this film does really well is it keeps you interested the whole time, even though it's a lot of talking scenes. You don't need explosions or car chases or shootouts to make a film like this entertaining. If it's got a good screenplay and it's handled well and directed well with a great cast leading it, then you don't need any of that. And this film just goes to prove that that is just how it works and how it's done properly. Now, one of the reasons I was worried going into this film was Steven Spielberg's last film was also a dramatic talking film, and it was Lincoln, and I wasn't as impressed with that film, even though it looked great and it had a great soundtrack and cast. It just wasn't very interesting, and I know a lot of people may have liked it, but I did enjoy it, but I didn't love it at all. And so I was kind of hoping with this film that we'd get a bit more action, and you do get a bit of action in it, but it was just overall, the standout was the screenplay and the cast, which is phenomenal. So I definitely recommend Bridge of Spies, though not to young kids or teenagers, because they probably won't find it very interesting unless you're into that style film. Definitely one of the best movies I've seen all year. Fantastic performance by Tom Hanks. Definitely one of Spielberg's best films of recent years. I'm going to give Bridge of Spies an A-. It was a very good movie, definitely worth watching. Thanks everyone for watching my quick review on Bridge of Spies, the new Spielberg film. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel and check out some of my previous movie reviews, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.